Okay, says we're live. And I'm going to go live on Instagram too, and it takes a minute for that to pop up. So just hang with me for a minute. We're going to talk about something fun today. And there it is, go live. So we're going to talk about something fun today, and I put it in the title. It's Die Trying, Not Watching. And nobody's inviting anyone to die or anything else. But one of the facts of the universe is, you know what? We're going to die. And I use this picture behind me, and I hope you're looking at it because it's a picture, real live picture, looking down the street where Joy and I lived for the first 4.5 years or so when we were here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. And Edmonton, in case you don't know, is it's kind of straight north of Phoenix, about 1,800 miles, north of Montana. And people have often asked why we moved from the bowels of hell, which is Phoenix, to the bowels of freezing hell, which is Edmonton up here in the frozen north. And the answer is family. We moved up here in 2016 after we'd spent 8.5 or 9 years in Phoenix to take care of Joy's mom and so forth. So we've been up here for just about the same amount of time, eight years. It'll be 8 years this October. Anyway, the reason I show this picture is because, even in the frozen north, it looks that beautiful. That was a summer day, unretouched, real live colors and all that stuff, looking right down the street. And it's a part of the town that's been there a long time. And so there's this beautiful canopy of trees and so forth. And the streets are not wide enough really for two parked cars and two cars, but that's okay. It's the residential. And so you get by. Anyway, this happens in a very quick period of time. So winter up here lasts to the end of April, mid-May. And then it gets spring for about 15 minutes. And then spring lasts, well, actually spring's longer, lasts from mid-May to, they think of planting here your flowers Victoria Day weekend, which is the weekend before Memorial Day in the end of May. So the last week or two of May, you can plant flowers and things. And then you have June and July. And then we're doing this live stream here right at the end of August. And so June, July, August, and you're done. In September, it's already rained like crazy today. And certainly not blue and sunny like this. But my point is, the foliage comes out, the trees get full, and the leaves grow, and things happen really fast. And you get this beautiful stuff in our backyard. Looks like this right now. Now, we don't live on this street anymore. About 4 years ago, we moved to a different place when Joy's mom moved in with us because she was just too old to be able to care for herself well. So we got a bigger house on a different part of town. But our backyard still looks beautiful and fabulous like this. So the point isn't to show you beautiful foliage in Edmonton. The point is to ask you a really simple question. How active are you in your life? I mean, in the matter of intentional creation. You build your life moment to moment, whether you want to or not, whether you believe it or not, even if you want to get mad and pretend you don't. You are, you do, and you always will. And you can do it in one of a couple of ways. One, you can be sort of victim. Stuff happens to me and I'm mad about that. Or you can be very intentional about creation, intentionally creating, moving the levers of creation. Now, the struggle we have with that is we want those levers to be as fast as a Harry Potter wand, and they're not. They aren't, mostly. Once in a while, you can do something and it happens instantaneously. But most of the time, like this beautiful foliage, it takes some time to manifest. And even though this happens really fast in the space of 2 or 3 weeks, by mid-June, it looks like this, right? And then it's this way for about 3 months, July, August, mid-September. And so it's fabulous, it's beautiful, but it still takes time. So I put in here, Die Trying, Not Watching. And let me tell you a story about where that came from. I used to have a couple of timeshares. You all know what those are. Timeshare condos in Baja, California, in Cabo San Lucas. They're very beautiful, very touristy town. And they have all these great big hotels, and some of them are really nice. And I had one that was kind of in a medium, okay place. It was nice to be. But then I bought another one that was the prime week and the most beautiful suite in this one hotel. And, with its own pool and all that jazz. So I had a couple of those timeshares in Cabo. And so when we went down there, and we certainly, like most people, we didn't use them as much as we could have. And so now I don't own them anymore because we just weren't using them after a few years. But anyway, down there in Baja, there's a lot of stuff to do. Fishing, you go deep sea fishing for different kinds of fish. I wasn't very interested in that. I didn't do it. But there were other things that were interesting. And one of them is dune buggies, taking trips and even races and things like that out in the dunes, sand dunes and hills and all that kind of stuff. The desert, it's very desert oriented there. And there's a brand of t-shirt. So this gets to my story. And the brand is Die Trying. And it is an invitation to go balls to the wall. It's an invitation to go all in. It's an invitation to go do stuff like Die Trying. Anyway, and they would have apparel, hats and T-shirts and mugs and things. And I remember a few of them, and one of them says, drive it like you stole it. And of course, they're talking about the dune buggies and the things that you'd go do in the sand. And here was one of them. One of them said, Die Trying, not watching. And that one just has stuck with me now over the years. And it is certainly representative of my own approach to life, balls to the wall or don't bother. Go all in, go do this thing or stay home. Go hard or go home, go big, go home, that kind of phrase. I'm that kind of person. Die Trying, not watching is an effort. It's a cute slogan and for the brand, T-shirt seller and so forth. But if you think about your life, how much time do you spend planning, getting organized? I'm getting ready, stringing and unstringing your bow and polishing your guitar or your violin or getting ready. And then, the moments pass, the days passed, and you're never quite ready for the time. So the idea, Die Trying, not watching, is an invitation for you to get on the court and participate fully in the game of your life. Now, get on the court is a favorite phrase of a friend of mine, Devin Bandison, who I met several years ago in one mastermind I belonged to. And he's a very successful coach, and I like him, love him. He's a great guy and is doing good things. But anyway, he loved basketball, played basketball, and has had some success coaching basketball people. He calls himself the mind coach, go-to mind coach for the NBA. And I don't know what his coaching clientele looks like, and it doesn't matter. But one of the phrases he uses all the time is get on the court. The game looks different from on the court than it does up in the stands. It looks different on the court than it does even from the bench. So there's the game that's on the court, the game of your life. There's the game that's on the bench, which is where you're right there, part of the team. And then there's the hecklers or the cheerleaders or the people in the stands watching. Now, I want you to think about where you are in the matter of your life. Sometimes when we're in the stands, we get mad at, what's going on the court. Now, we're not out there playing, but we're mad. We're mad at the refs. We're mad at the opposing team. We're mad at something that got missed. We're mad that someone else is doing really well or poorly, mad at our own players. And it's completely different. Armchair quarterback is the way that they describe it for football. But watching the game from the stands is a completely different experience. Maybe you've played chess over someone's shoulder and you're sitting there thinking, wow, you can do this and that, and you can see these moves, and you can't figure out for the life of you why the person there in the game can't see the move. Well, you know what? Shut up about that. Go get on the court of your own life. Managing someone else's growth, directing someone else with your good advice is a bunch of crap. If you have something to give, give it. If you have love and support to offer, offer it. Share your encouragement, share your love, and in the matter of your own life, get off the bench, get out of the stands, get down on the court. Get down on the court, not once in a while, but every day. Now, those of you that know me know that I'm a fanatic about morning creation processes. I wrote a book, published, 7 or 8 or 9 months ago, Living with Purpose and Power. And in that book, I poured everything I knew up to 8 months ago when I finished it, about a year ago, about creating powerful guiding stars. Some people call them documents, and I hate cliche words because then immediately we dismiss it. Yeah, I already know that. What if you had a scripture, a personal scripture that was so powerful that every time you read it, it lit your heart on fire? And you were suddenly all that you could be. You were the star. You were a franchise player. What if that happened? Wouldn't that be worth it to you to create such a holy, sacred document? You know, like one of those scrolls that somebody's pronouncing from the wall of the castle. That. What if you had that first? Second, what if you used it every single day to get you in Olympic shape? Like, and by that, I mean, we just had the Olympics, but get you in shape for the performance of your lifetime that day. Why wouldn't you do that every day? Why wouldn't you want to meet every day of your life in the best shape you could, spiritually, physically, emotionally, mentally? Now, that doesn't mean you can't play or go on vacation or rest or any of that. I'm not saying any of that. I'm not for working 80 hours a week. I don't work at all, frankly. Everything I do, I love. I have no obligations. I have only some commitments that I've made to myself. I love them and I do them. But my point is, the way you get on the court, you can sort of wander out there and be afraid of the game. You can wander out there and kind of not know what you're doing. You can be the person in the corner thinking basketball, waving your arms and wondering why nobody's passing to you. Well, if you're not in your A game, then you're not all there. You are better than that. You're worth more than that. You're more worthy than that. You're more powerful than that. You deserve the right. You have the right, and you deserve to be fully energized, fully prepared, fully capable, fully fired up with joy and creativity and power every single day. But nobody's going to do it for you. Like, you know, you can't take a vitamin pill for breakfast that's going to crank up your mindset, fix your spirituality, solve your emotional dilemmas, and energize your mind. You got to do that yourself. And what I notice is 90% of the people that I meet, see, listen to online, etc., they don't do that. At best, they crank themselves up for a particular talk or performance or interview, or if they're going to prospect for their business, or if they're going to go do something, they crank up for that. And then that big sigh of relief when they're through it. What if you just were able to die trying? Like, meaning go all in all the time, every day. And you know what? People think that's exhausting. It's not. It's not. I used to think it. In fact, I used to experience that. But the only reason I was exhausted is because I wasn't prepared. I hadn't prepared myself for my mission. When you're doing something you love, like dearly, deeply love, you know what it's like. You get lost in it and you don't remember what time it is. Suddenly 2 hours, 5 hours, the whole day's passed and you're like, wow. And you're not like worn out. You're good. So my encouragement today is encapsulated in that little phrase, die trying, not watching. We're all going to die. Well, I would rather die in the act, in the effort, on the way, serving, lifting, loving, blessing. Like those of you that know me, my business plan's really simple. People laugh. My business plan is simple. I never look for clients. I look for people to love. That's you. Opportunity to serve. That's you. And problems to solve. I don't know if that's you. Maybe you don't have any. And your life is just as tuned up as it possibly can be. If that's true, I'd love to meet you and talk, because I love knowing more and more and more people who live like I do, who are living that ultimate life, purpose, prosperity, and joy. Love that. So my invitation is to connect. Love to connect. If you think this message will serve somebody, share it. Like, do them and you a favor. If this is like making you feel something, then do something about it. Get in the game. Make sure that whatever happens, you die trying, not watching. I love you. If there's something I can do, remember, my goal this year is to help 250 million people. I only have a month and a half left. My year ends October 14th. So I'm going all in with everything I can do to reach 250 million. If you have a place, I can do that. If I can help you in some way, if I can serve you, lift you, bless you, then I'm in. Get a hold of me. Let's see what we can create together. But above all that, no matter how you do it, go after your dreams. go make them happen. Can you imagine just for a minute? I want you to close your eyes and visualize this. What would it be like if every person, starting with yourself, took fierce ownership of your life, every aspect, every gift, every talent, every skill, every life experience, even the bad ones? If you took fierce ownership of those and you forged them into gold and power and you worked with that. No more victim, none of that. That was all gone. If every person, and of course it starts with you, took fierce ownership of their lives and created and served and loved from that place, well, we wouldn't even recognize the world. And we think that's impossible, but it's not. Every problem would be solved. Hunger and war, it would all go away. And you know where it starts? It starts with me. It starts with you. So let's get to it. Die trying, not watching. See you tomorrow.